All right, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Blackwater Report. There's a lot to talk about. Main Street Milton is in the news. We're going to talk about Wings over Milton and why it took 3 hours and 9 minutes to go through a city council meeting. Let's review.
Let's get underway.
Great. Well, let's get moving then. So, I'm going to call this meeting to order, the Executive Committee meeting of February 4th, 2019, and we can recognize those individuals now. Shannon Hamley and Emily Shar. Did I say that right? Sure. Thank you. My glasses might need to be improved there.
City manager, that's who it was sent to. I'm not sure who.
Can you speak in the microphone a little more?
I'm not sure who
It's
the city manager is, but that's the email that was sent.
Okay. So if you'll point the microphone a little bit closer to you so we'll have a record of what you've said.
Okay, but
But
I
it's-
am requesting Carpenter's Park for May 25th and asking that the fee to be waived because it is for a nonprofit organization
Which one?
to host a fundraiser. Tanner Williams Memorial Resource Center, which brings me to another thing.
Mr. Jorgensen has been the city manager for a little while now. I don't know if you sent it to him or to Mr. Watkins. I don't know when your email.
I'm not sure
was
either. I
sent.
should have looked before I left, but I
That's
did not.
okay.
Yeah, it was sometime in December, late December.
Okay.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I do recall the email. I know I referenced the email to the Parks and Rec Director. I also would be happy to share the city's policy. The city does not waive fees regardless of the applicant, whether it be a church, a nonprofit organization, or any other. If the organization has got an activity that would be a benefit to the community and allow us to promote our services through a sponsorship, that's something that could be considered. But as it relates to the fees themselves, our policy has been and is today, we do not waive fees of any kind.
This is a major concept with a lot of pieces. So send me that information.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
That's
I
all I
think the only
had.
thing that I wanted to say was I was attending the previous committee when the angel wings were mentioned,
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am.
and
Wait, did she say angel wings?
I appreciate you clarifying that. I mean, we don't want controversy. We want people to have a good time. So,
One citizen here of Milton who voiced their opinion on the angel wings. So if at least one person showed up, then there's probably others who would do the same.
Was, my first thought was there needs to be angel wings for all the people that are dying from drugs in the city. I don't know if the committee's aware, but people outside, people in the adjoining areas call Milton the meth capital of Florida. That's what Milton is known for in the public. That's sad that we live
I agree.
where people call the meth capital.
Right.
well, I was born here in 1970, and I
It's
can assure you,
terrible.
I wasn't raised to believe that that's something we'd ever be known for.
Right, it's terrible,
Yeah.
and I hear it every day.
Yeah, so if you didn't know, there's methamphetamine in Milton.
I agree. Thank you.
Thank you for what you're doing. Appreciate both of you. Mr. Johns, you submitted a form. Welcome to the city of Milton.
Yeah, Deacon Raymond Johns, 5978 Queen Street.
Thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you for allowing me to have this
Mr. Jones, this guy's been to a few meetings, and he speaks some truth.
The opportunity, I thank God for being here, first of all, and, I want to reiterate just a little bit on what these young ladies were saying. I was a product of crack and alcohol abuse 17 years ago. I have 17 years sobriety, but I live in the jungle. And I want to tell you, it's getting rough.
And we're going to start brainstorming about what we can do.
Well, I appreciate that because, like I say, I've been talking about this 2 years, and it's nothing but aggravation to me when I see it constantly. You know what I mean? Every day. I know it's only so much Tony and his officers can do, and I love all Tony and his officers for what they do, and I've been knowing them all my life.
Excuse me. Yeah, Tony and his guys at the City of Milton Police, they do quite a job. They probably could use some more funding, and they could probably use some more people. For what they have, they do an outstanding job. So, yeah, I bet they're pretty busy over there at Milton PD.
Because some of them helped me get out of the system.
Mr. Johns, if you will, we are aware of the problems that's going on, and I've talked to you, you've talked to me.
So there's no need for us to go on with it anymore, Mayor. I just wanted to present it. I don't want to go a drawn-out thing about it. I just wanted to come in here, say what I want to say. Hey, don't lecture tonight, please.
No,
I just want
excuse
to get
me.
past it. I'm leaving.
Okay, but I do need to respond to a couple of things. Change does not
And bye, Felicia. Mr. Jones has left the building.
take place sometimes overnight. I know you're not listening because you just walked out of the door in a very disrespectful manner. However, I want to let you know
About that, Rand.
So
when will that money be available, do you think? Or is there anything we can do to help get that money in?
we are doing what we can to help
Okay.
get that money in, and that would be a $750,000 improvement project
Great.
that the city would undertake on behalf of that entire neighborhood, not just North Byram Street.
Well, could-
Sessions Apartments continues to plague not only Santa Rosa County, but unquestionably the city of Milton because of its proximity. I've been in there on more than one occasion personal. I've been there with code enforcement, and we've made complaints to Santa Rosa County. I would encourage you and other members of council to indicate to them as well our dissatisfaction with the status of that property,
Indicate to whom?
to the board of Santa Rosa County and
Be glad to.
or their manager. It is a problem, unquestionable.
Well, there you go. Sessions apartment, there's a problem. There's a real problem. Apparently it's a city problem, it's a county problem, it's just a problem. Does anybody know anybody over there? Does anybody have any leadway to help that area? The Sessions apartment? Anybody?
And it's a problem that hasn't been addressed, and it keeps getting worse each and every day.
Is there possibly like a letter that we could write to the county commissioners and have all the council members sign it on behalf of the city of Milton to address the apartment issue?
Would that be one way of letting them know?
That would be one good way of letting them know.
And have all of us sign it?
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
Second.
Second from Councilman Snow.
Okay, well, City of Milton, I'm behind you on that one. Why don't you send a letter to the county and have them deal with it?
All in favor? Right. Staff, would you please
We'll
prepare
craft
such
a
a
letter,
letter?
and we'll have it back to you for your council meeting next week.
Excellent.
You
Thank
don't
so
mind if
much.
some of us go ahead and call him today, do you?
Councilwoman, you can take the liberty to call anyone you would like.
I have it in dark black ink to have that conversation with him.
Go get him, Peggy.
Dan D'Angelo? Is that right? Or D'Angelo? Thank you. Welcome to the city of Milton, sir.
I live at 5909 Glover Lane. That's just north of Hamilton Bridge.
Welcome.
We have a speeding problem.
So item number 1179, off-premise directional sign regulations. Would you like to come and speak to us, sir, about this?
Okay, real quick. This is in regards to Ferris Hill Baptist Church. Some of you may recently know them as the Cold Weather Shelter. The only one in Santa Rosa County, by the way. So if you were in Navarre and you were cold, you would have had to drive. Their sign is just past the high school, and they are looking to change their sign to an electronic sign that has a more prominent display, and it will change letters and stuff.
My name is Bill Wallace.
Would have to be answered, I believe. We're recommending that they approve this. Is that right?
Oh, they recommend to council.
Right.
Not council recommending
Well, I
to
shouldn't
the
have
planning
said,
board.
I
but-
shouldn't have said we, but
Well,
you as city staff.
We're not opposed to the request, provided that we can limit these types of signs to specific activities that would be identified in the code. My fear is off-premises variable message signs for the purpose of identifying an activity and/or location. If not extremely limited, we could become the boulevard of neon, and everybody who's a block off the thoroughfare would want an off-premise variable message sign showing their location. So that's what's going to the planning board. That'll be the recommendation from staff. Ultimately, that's what they'll take up and recommend to council.
Yes, and I misspoke earlier when I said we. I used to be city staff, but what I was trying to make sure of is that city staff is recommending to the Milton Planning Board to approve this specific change, which would allow this type of off-premise sign to occur. Is that right?
Just for a shelter.
Just for a shelter. It's very limited.
If we have more
Protect-
than one shelter to have this type of sign, it will
Right.
provide for it. But this is just for shelters.
Item number 1166, Wings Over Milton Public Art Contest, calling for submission. There was no objection to the actual program at Committee of the Whole, but there was objection to the connection with artist Colette Miller and the use of angel wings. Staff has changed the wording on this to eliminate any association with the artist or any association with angel wings. I make a motion, we move this to council.
Second.
Discussion, please.
Councilwoman Rice?
So I'm really happy to see these changes. I like art. But as I spoke with Mr. Jorgensen today, my initial concern also had to do with us paying for this out of the natural gas of Milton promotions and marketing fund. And to help with that, what I would like to do is to maybe emphasize a little bit more that by buying and subscribing to local utilities, we put that money back into the local community. It may be obvious to some people that we do that, but I would like a little bit more focus on that's what we're doing, so that then it's not just like a sticker here, it's just another promotion from us.
I understand what Councilwoman Rice has indicated. She's, I think, I agree with her, quite frankly, as it relates to her desire to get people to understand the difference between using natural gas in Milton and that local utility being able to return part of their investment to the community, as opposed to simply using power supplied by a source that's much greater in volume and impact. I mean, it's a good concept.
Item number 1174, recommendation to establish local heritage sites requested by the Historical Preservation Board. Recommendation was passed at Committee of the Whole with a majority vote. I make a motion we move this forward to council.
I don't have heartburn with a local heritage site, but with what is proposed here, I mean, there has to be a benefit for so much work to be put into.
I believe the benefit is the community recognizes the historical and cultural importance of that portion of the community.
I understand what you're saying, Mr. Jorgensen, but this will not qualify as a historic district.
It won't. You're
won't,
right.
It won't serve as grant funding. So
No,
it's basically, it's meaningless to me.
Well,
Other than
than what I described, which I believe has value, and that's why it's being done.
Councilman Jordan's motion has been amended. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Councilwoman Smith, we have a second for Mary Street and Kaiser Cemetery to be moved to council. If there's no discussion, please vote. Public Works Committee, Councilman Jeff Snow. 1171.
Yeah, item 1171, Santa Rosa County and School Board, City of Milton tiered contract. Description, the city purchasing policy allows council to waive the bid process and use other contracts that have gone through the review processes and have been approved by another government entity. Santa Rosa County and School Board have approved for us to piggyback from each of their bids.
Now moving on to council reports.
Can we take 5?
Okay, we're going to take 5 minutes. It's almost 7 o'clock.
The first half wasn't like you thought it was. Wait till after halftime.